So, are there any dApps that I actually use myself? Well, yes. Today, guys, I want to go into one specifically that I have been using. I've actually been using it for over a month now. Haven't really talked about it because I wanted to test it out, try it out for myself. And by the way, I'm not recommending that anybody actually goes out and puts money into this. I just wanted to share my experience today on this particular dApp, and I've actually been able to earn passively 20 ETH. Now, keep in mind, the price of Ethereum has been up 70% this month alone. So not only have I been able to make passive dividends on this app, but I've also increased my dollar value because Ethereum has been going up as well. So that dApp is Ethereum Capital or EthereumGold or GONTG. Now you're probably asking me, well, what is this? Well, basically it's all the exact same dApp. In fact, it's the contract in the background that's running this. So there's multiple different websites that represent this particular Ethereum dApp, and the same way that you could change the logo of a token or change the website of a token, this actually has multiple websites, basically just for, I guess, whatever way you want to look at it. This one, originally the contract came out, it was specifically designed for India. By the way, I know the guy behind this who created this. He's been a Crypto Zombie subscriber and supporter for years now, and he actually developed this 2 years ago. So yeah, this is definitely proven that it is a legit dApp. We're going to get into how it works, but I like using the EthereumGold interface. This actually calculates it in Ethereum. I have been using this for the past month. So what is this contract? Well, basically, it is a very simple buy and sell feature. So essentially, you buy these Ethereum Gold tokens, okay? They're called Ethereum Gold tokens. On another website, they're called the GONTG tokens. They're the IND. It doesn't matter. It's the same contract. I can't stress that enough. So in this particular instance, I'm just using the Ethereum Gold website. This is the interface that I'm used to. It's the equivalent of maybe you like using Ledger versus MetaMask or whatever interface you want to use, right? So basically what you do is when you buy into this contract, you can see right here, there's a 10% dividend distribution. So you actually buy gold tokens, and by holding these gold tokens, you guarantee a percentage of all of the money that is distributed. So how does the money get distributed? Well, it's very simple. It basically depends on volume, buying in and selling the tokens. So every time somebody decides to buy some gold tokens, 10% is taken away from that purchase and distributed in ETH amongst all of the holders. Then, when that person decides to sell, another 10% is taken out of that sell order and distributed amongst all the holders. So ultimately, 20% gets taken out in total, right? So how can you benefit this if you're getting 10% taken out when you buy in and 10% taken out when you buy out? Also, this sounds like a pyramid Ponzi scheme. Well, that's what I thought when I first heard about it 2 years ago. My goodness, I wish I had invested then. We'll get into why it is 100% not a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme in just a bit. So, having a look over here, one thing I want to point out before I even talk about how this works, you do need to download MetaMask. Now, MetaMask is a Web3 Ethereum wallet. If you don't have MetaMask, you could just go to metamask.io and you can download it. You can see right here, they support it for Chrome, Firefox, or Brave browser as well. I'm not going to go into how to use MetaMask, but if you're interested, you can check out this tutorial that they have over here. They go into how to use it, how to buy, etc., all that. But back to basically what Ethereum Gold is. So like I said, essentially you just buy in and 10% is taken out. And then if you sell, 10% is taken out as well. But here's the interesting thing. Every time somebody buys gold tokens, the market cap, as you can see right here, which is at $3.4 million, also goes up. So this is very similar to just when you buy and sell altcoins as well, you know, if you just were to use a regular exchange. So let's talk about exactly what is going on with this. Well, basically, this mitigates the risk of fast dumping by penalizing sellers for doing so. If there is a sell-off period, you will be collecting dividends as well as gain a larger portion of the total token market share in the process. This way, those who dump to time the market and perform swing trades, selling high and rebuying low, will be risking a lot and losing out on soaking up all those precious dividends. If you prefer to sit back and play it safe, you will profit off the madness of the greedy whales and weak-handed alike. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, it sounds a lot like a Ponzi scheme. It sounds like people need to be buying in order for me to make money. Well, that is actually not the case, because the way that a traditional Ponzi pyramid works is basically a guy at a top sells something to people at the bottom, and then they sell it to more people, they sell it to more people, they sell it to more people, and all the money from the bottom gets trickled up to all the guys at the top. That is technically not the case with this contract. Now, arguably, you could say, well, the people who are in it longer are doing better and they're making more money. Well, yes, but that's because the way that this contract is designed is to reward people who hold longer. The more of these tokens that you hold, the more EthereumGold tokens that you hold, the bigger percentage of the pool that you have. Now, let me explain to you why this is totally not a pyramid. Every time somebody buys or sells the token, the EthereumGold token, the price changes 0.00000001 higher upon buy and 0.000001 lower upon sell. So there's basically a built-in decentralized exchange, right? And it's all based on contracts. It cannot be manipulated. And I'll get into that in just a bit if you're worried about, the contract having any loopholes or not being legit. We've had it audited over 8 times, and this thing is unbreakable. But anyway, you can see right here, if you keep your tokens where they are, you receive 10% from every buy or sell based on your current share of tokens. You can convert your current token stash into Ether, where it will sit in your dividends pool, and it's stored in Ethereum, not in tokens, and you can literally withdraw these tokens or this Ethereum at any time that you want. Now, here is the interesting thing. You can see right here, this was created all the way back in 2018. This thing is still running. It is still going. Now, you can see recently it has gained a little bit of popularity. It actually has had a bit of a pullback now if you're looking to get a cheaper opportunity to buy into those tokens. But it is absolutely 100% verified. You can come over here. You can have a look at the contract itself. In fact, there's been many YouTubers that have actually gone into the code and audited the code to look at it to make sure that it is absolutely 100% legit. And even on their website itself, they ask the question, frequently asked questions, is this secure? Well, like I said, I know the creator of this personally. And the interesting thing is they have removed all of the administrator rights. So this contract is just running on its own, on the Ethereum blockchain. Nobody can access it. There are no backdoors. There are no special privileges. Not even the creator of this contract itself can edit it. So it's forever running out in the ether of Ethereum. Kind of interesting. And yeah, so that's basically that situation moving forward. So like I said, guys, if you want, you can have a look at this. See what you think. And yeah, I mean, if you want, I'll connect my wallet and I'll show you guys. I have taken some of my profits out, but I'll show you that I have made some dividends. In fact, I don't even know what I have right now. So I'm going to connect my wallet. Obviously, I'm going to just, blur this out for my privacy if you don't mind. But basically, I'm going to connect right here and then boom, look, it just loaded live in front of us. Obviously, I have the sensitive information blocked out. And right here, right where I'm sitting, you can see that I have 2.9 in total dividends, and that by today's date is about 1,136 USD. Now, I've been making about 1% per day on this. Now, keep in mind, this is based on volume. It's not based on, days. It all depends on how much people are buying in or selling out, right? But ultimately, if you lose 20%, essentially, right? Because the contract takes the 20%, 10% on the way in, 10% on the way out. In 20 days, you're already breaking even, right? And one more thing I wanted to just mention super quick, getting back to the whole, is it a Ponzi pyramid scheme? Well, in a pyramid, the last person who buys in is the one who gets penalized, right? If you're the last guy to buy in, you lose all your money. There's no more money coming in. Therefore, you're the sucker, BitConnect, right? And you lost all your money. Now, if we actually have a look at this contract over here, That's not the case. If you were the absolute last person to buy into the, say you bought right here, all the way at the top. You bought way at the top. You're the last person to buy. And from that point, the price just kept tanking. The token's value just started depreciating and you lost all your investment in the token. Well, guess what? Every single time that somebody sells, you're getting dividends. Also, the token price decreases, which is, unfortunate, but those tokens are also being burned. So you are becoming a bigger whale by holding longer. So technically, if you bought all the way at the top, like the absolute tippy top of the price, but you didn't sell, you held all the way down to the bottom. Let's say the price crashed 95%, the project totally died, and everybody left. You would be the biggest holder of tokens and you would have collected dividends all the way from the top, all the way down to the bottom. So realistically, the way that you lose out on something like this is by selling too soon. Okay? In my opinion, is this risky? Sure, all of these are risky, but so are buying altcoins. We've seen look what happened with Ampleforth the other day. What happened with Matic, right? In the beginning of the year. We've seen these coins drop 75%, 100% in a day. Not 100%, but maybe 80% in a day. However, on Ethereum Gold, yes, technically you would lose your token value, but you would be collecting dividends all the way up, all the way down. So really, volatility is where the money's made, and this is designed to really help the long-term hodlers. And basically, guys, long story short, last year alone, this was up 800%. So check it out, guys. If you're interested, Ethereum Gold, Ethereum Capital, GandhiG, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same contract. By the way, they do offer a referral program. I am not going to drop my referral link below, because honestly, I'm not interested in making referrals. I actually genuinely believe in this project and I think it's going to do very well. No, I wouldn't go throwing, everything you have into it. And no, this is not a get rich quick. This is just one of those sort of passive income, set it, forget it, not financial advice, but I put a small portion of my portfolio and I'm just going to ride it out. I'm just going to forget about it. So as you can see right here, guys, also look at this. I have 0 referral earnings. I have not shilled this to anybody, and I'm not even going to give you guys my referral link today because honestly, I just don't really care about making referrals. I believe in this and I personally invest in it. So if you want to just not do this, fine. Doesn't matter to me, guys. I believe in it. I'm invested in it. And I'm here for the long run on Ethereum Gold or Ethereum Capital or GandhiG or whatever other websites are created around this contract. At the end of the day, it's the same contract. Let me know what you guys think. That's my review. So if you want to look at a tutorial, there's tutorials online, but that is basically the rundown of, that. And like I said, guys, even if the website was to go down, doesn't matter. It's a contract. You can still access it through the Ethereum blockchain. So let me know what you guys think. Are you looking into Ethereum Gold? Like I said, please do not invest in this. Yes, everything is inherently risky. I'm not trying to make any money off of this. I'm not trying to sell you a referral. This was certainly not a sponsored video, but lots of people ask me about Ethereum dApps. And with the exception of exchanges, I don't really use too many of them, but Ethereum Gold, definitely one I've been using. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. If you're interested in any of the links below in the description, they will be there. So have a look, have fun, be safe out there. Keep in mind, crypto is a crazy volatile space, but hopefully, guys, now you understand why I don't really like a lot of these dApps. Some of them can be very suspicious, but this one is time tested. I do believe in this one, and I am invested in this one. So just a small portion of my portfolio, if I was to lose everything invested into this today, wouldn't affect me. And that's exactly how you have to be with these types of things. Don't go trading or investing the mortgage payment away, right? So thanks again for coming back. You guys rock. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to tell you about a DeFi project. I've been finally broken. And you're looking at it right behind me. I have finally put money into a smart contract, and so I'm going to tell you a whole story about this whole thing. Okay, how this came about. because I was actually a part of the original smart contract, the EthereumGold. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this couldn't go south. I'm not saying jump into this. I'm not saying anything other than I've done it. And we'll see how this turns out. So I was in that smart contract for about 3 months. Now, mind you, this was like 800 something days, might have been 850 days, may have been just, I don't know, 900 days. I don't remember. It was a while. So I basically just, I bought the tokens, I let it go, and I didn't touch it. I didn't reinvest any dividends. I didn't do anything. And I'm going to explain the model here in a minute. But I was in this thing for a few months, and I ended up with like 1.5 Ethereum in dividends, right?